Chapter 9, Family Secrets. Alexander screams, clutching his leg where the teeth of the vicious silver trap pierce his flesh. He's clearly in agony and the sun is rising over the mountain. It's about to make it worse. As soon as the sunlight hits him, Alexander is going to burn. I have to get him out of here. Grab the jaws of the trap, pulling with every ounce of your strength in your body. But they don't budge. The sun creeps slowly across the grass, the leading edge touching Alexander's hand. Oh, Skylar, I need those muscles of yours. I know they're good for more than just looking at. While I appreciate the observation, I can't touch that thing any more safely than he could. I know Silver burned you too, but we can't leave Alexander here to die. The sun hits Alexander again, and he lets out an ear-splitting scream. Skylar hesitates, casting a long glance at Alexander, writhing in pain. To your horror, you see reluctance in his eyes. Oh my god, does he want Alexander to die? His eyes flick to you, his gaze softens, and he drops to his knees and grabs the jaws of the trap. Arrgh! He grimaces in pain, but doesn't let go, even as the silver begins to sear his palms. How the hell did this get put down, then? I can't watch this, I need to help him. You grab onto the trap, hoping that even your lesser human strength can make a difference. In the castle behind you, you hear the entity's taunting laugh. She's doing this, she's hurting them to get to me. You look over your shoulder, and the sight of her malevolent grin fuels your rage. If only we could actually see her grin. Go to hell. You focus back on the trap and pull with every ounce of anger inside of you. Open! With a jolt, the jaws give just as Alexander's to pull his leg from the trap. Ah! We did it, Skylar. Help me get him to the castle quickly. Draping Alexander's arms around your shoulders, you and Skylar walk in beneath the dappled shade of the trees and stumble through the castle doors, shutting them closed with a resounding slam. You lay Alexander out on the settee and cringe at the sight of the sliced flesh and wicked silver burns on his ankles. Alexander, where did the sun get you? My arms, my back, but I'm safe now, Lila. Thanks to you. And Skylar, I couldn't have done it without him. Alexander grumbles his barely audible thanks and responds. Skylar, what about you? How bad are your hands? I've had worse. You remember the taunting grin of the entity in the upstairs window. You know, the least they could do is actually put a, grin on it. All you would see is the teeth. If that thing's in the house, I'm gonna find her. I'm not letting her get away with this. You bite your lip, not wanting to tell Alexander and Skylar you're going after the entity. I'm going upstairs to look out the window for any rogue traps. Will you take care of him, Skylar? Yeah, of course. Skylar, please. It's alright, Lila. I can still hold the werewolf off should he decide to make a mistake. It won't come to that. Stay here. I'll be back in a minute. Upstairs, you burst through the door of the bedroom where you saw the entity. Where are you? But the room is empty. The only movement, the curtains fluttering in the breeze through the open window. Yeah, you better run. But your moment of bravado quickly vanishes. Your shoulders slump and feelings of guilt and sadness creep into your heart. This is my fault. They're hurt because they're close to me. Defeated, you turn to leave, but a glint of metal on the windowsill catches your eye. It's some kind of keychain. 4-leaf clover. That looks familiar. You pick it up, the cold metal against your fingers. This is my mother's keychain. She never went anywhere without it. She called it her little bit of luck, but it disappeared the night she died. Your heart thumps in your chest and you feel a whirl of vertigo as you realize the entity must have taken it that night, and now she's left it here to taunt me. The sight of the keychain is your hand unlocks a flood of memories of your nomadic life with your mom, moving place to place, never settling for more than a month at a time. I need to come to terms with my past. You close your eyes, fighting back tears as the memory of one particular night overwhelms you. The run-down motel, your mother sitting at the window, turning the keychain over and over in her hand. I must have been, 9? We've been on the road for days, and we pulled into a roadside motel for sleep. Mom was so nervous that night, she refused to tell me why. Your mother flicks the four-leaf clover through her fingers again. She's been doing it for hours. I hate the smelly motel. Can't we stay somewhere with a pool for once? I don't think she even knows I'm here. Suddenly there's a bang in the parking lot outside. Your mother jumps and peers through the curtains into the dark. What the heck? Shh! Her eyes flit anxiously to the door and then the chain securing it closed. Mom, why are you so scared? I'm not scared, honey. There's nothing to worry about. Just watch TV, okay? It's your favorite show. But, Mom... There's another bang, closer this time. Your mom freezes, and then she seems to make a decision. She goes to the door and slides open the chain. I'm just gonna go outside for a minute. You hop to your feet, not wanting to be left alone. I'll come with. No! Stay right there, Lila. I'm just gonna take a look around, and I'll be right back. But... Do not open this door unless I say the password. Do you remember the password? A little bit of luck. That's right. Now here, hold on to the keychain. It'll keep you safe. She slipped outside, closing the door behind her, leaving you alone with the sound of the terrified beating of your heart. The unmistakable sound of a crash sends your pulse racing. Mom! I went to see what's happening. Open the door. See what's happening. You creep to the window and pull back the curtains with trembling fingers. Mom? It's dark outside, darker than it should be. Shadows swirl, mist against the window, and then there's another crash. And a woman's face appears in the darkness. Oh, we finally get a damn look at the thing! She's so pretty. She's the most beautiful woman you've ever seen. Dark, cold, like she's made of night and shadows, and she's staring right at you. Hello, Lila. Then she smiles, and the blood in your veins turns to ice. Where's my mom? Oh, avoiding me, as usual. But remember me, Lila, because if your mother doesn't want to give me what I want, I'll come back to get it from you. Her words, the chilling sound of her voice leaving you frozen in fear. Lila! With a sinister laugh, the woman dissolves in the shadows just as your mother barrels into the room and slams the door. We have to go! She tosses the bags from the bed, onto the bed, and throws clothes and shoes indiscriminately into them. Mom, what? I said we have to go. Pack now! You snap back to the present with a gasp, your heart pounding so hard you can barely breathe. Oh my god. How could I forget seeing the entity before? How could I forget that face, that voice? You run your fingers frantically through your hair. I was so young and scared, I guess I just thought I imagined it. You revisited painful memories and learned you'd met the entity before. What did the enemy mean? What did she want from my mother that she never got? Because she's coming after me now, and I have no idea. Your shock turns to rage again, rage at what that thing did to your mother, what it's going to do to you, what it's done to the people you care about. This confrontation's been a long time coming, and I refuse to let her ruin my life like she did my mom's. I'm coming for you. I'm going to find out what you want and end this once and for all. You return downstairs to find Alexander still in the settee. His eyes close or blink open as you approach, and a weak smile curls his lips. How are you doing? I'm well. All I need is some time. You need a little more than that. Those burns look awful, and your leg. You pull back the cuff of his pants and cringe at the sight of the vicious wound. I'm sure you, Lila, it looks worse than it is. Vampires are quite hard to kill. You smile and gently brush his cheek with the back of your knuckles. Good thing, too, because this is not what I'd call a scratch. Where's Skylar? Right here. He walks out of the shadows, a prick of jealousy in his eyes, clearly having been watching. Alexander clears his throat. If I haven't said it, Wolf, thank you for your assistance, though I must admit I'm rather surprised. You know what, for once I'm gonna let him have a compliment. I told you he was a good person. Oh, I definitely am, but I didn't do it for him, Lyle. I did it for you. And that, I am not surprised. You shouldn't be. I knew it'd hurt you if he died. And you've lost so much already, I'd do anything to save you from that kind of pain again. I find that a bit hard to believe, as I suspect you orchestrated that farcical trial simply to keep me occupied until the sun rose. Alexander. In fact, I would not be surprised to learn you sent one of your dogs to move that trap to where I'd certain to walk into it. If not there before, I'm sure of it. What? Why would I orchestrate some elaborate plan to kill you just to save your vampire ass, injuring myself in the process? You've already admitted to make yourself the hero in Lila's eyes. You both need to stop. I can't handle this anymore. All this anger is what got us here in the first place. If you can't been so occupied arguing with each other, neither of you would have been hurt. With a huff, they fall silent, though they continue glaring at each other. Skylar clenches his fists, only to... Skylar, let me see your hands. He sneers at Alexander, then holds them out to you. They're worse than I thought. Why didn't you say anything? You were helping Alexander, and much as I hate to admit it, he's worse off. Neither of them are going to ever heal if they don't stop fighting. I've got to separate them. Maybe help one, both, or them feel better. Let's do Skylar first, since he's a big baby. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Alexander, you'll be fine on the settee for a while, as long as you don't move. I don't disagree. Skylar, come with me. I need to get some salve and bandages on this hands right away. Not gonna argue with that. Well, that's a first. Let's go to the library. You lead him to the library and sit him gently on the couch. He looks around, his gaze flitting from the books to the chandeliers to the furniture. This is a pretty impressive place. But the best part is these cushy chairs. We could have a little fun here, don't you think? The skin's cracking and peeling off your palms, and you want to have a little fun. Can't blame a wolf for trying. Actually, I can. Now wait here. You slip into the bathroom and come back with a wet towel and some salve you found in the cabinet. Palms up. He holds his hands out flat, wincing as the motion pulls at the burned skin of his fingers. Does the big bad wolf have an ouchie? His shoulders shake as he laughs, and he makes an exaggerated, sad face. Can you kiss it and make it better? How about I just clean them up and put some salve on them? You're no fun. You take his hands gently in yours and turn them to the light to see the extent of the damage. You know, you didn't have to touch Silver to prove to me how tough you are. You know, you could have just taken off your jacket, wrapped it around your hands, and then pulled the trap, but you know. So you think I'm tough? Toughest werewolf I've ever met. You press this wet cloth gently to his palm. Skylar lets out a strangled grunt. He's doing his best to hide it, but he's clearly in a lot of pain. Maybe if I can get him laughing again, it'll distract him while I clean these up. Did I ever tell you about the contents of my lingerie drawer? No, but I want to hear all about it, and I'm talking details. You laugh and coyly arch your eyebrow. Well, there's this one bra I have. It's blue lace, plunges really low, right down to here. You run a finger teasingly down your chest, a spot just between your breasts. He growls deep in his throat. I also have a bustier. I love those. I thought you would, but my favorite is my soft, slippery red silk teddy, because you lean close and whisper in his ear. It slides off very easily. And when do I get to see all these delicious treats? Never. I lost my luggage passing through Colorado. Now, all I've got is cotton panties and tank tops. Skylar throws his head back and laughs. Oh, now that is a tragedy. Okay, tell me more. I want to know everything about you. It's your turn now. Tell me about your first time. Whoa, you want to go there? I totally want to go there. Now come on, give me the deets. Okay. Her name was Cara. We were seniors. It was prom night. A classic. I picked her up in my car. We went driving around the lake. Then we parked up on a hill with an amazing view of the town. And it just happened. I was super nervous, and, it was totally awkward at first. But in the end, it was one of my best nights of my life. Better than our night? The question is meant to be teasing, but you're taken off guard when he leans in, his face is serious. Nothing was better than our night, Lila, because no one can ever compare to you. You gulp audibly as electric desire arcs through you. I better get off this topic quickly before we both lose control. You finish cleaning the wounds and open the jar of salve, dabbing the tips of your fingers into it before pausing to look up at him. This might hurt. I can take it. I've heard that one before. As lightly as you can, you spread the ointment across his palms, careful not to press too hard on the burn, and then you blow lightly across the wound. How's that? Feels better than you can imagine. You look up to find him staring at you, his eyes narrow and dark with lust. I didn't know spreading salve on a wound was such a turn-on. Anytime you touch me is a turn-on. Plus, you're being the whole motherly, caring, kind of feminine thing. Kiss his hands. The deep tenor of his voice is in a flutter between your legs, and before you know it, you're brushing your lips to his fingertips, the pulse points on his wrists. Does that make it all better? It makes a lot of things better. Your eyes fix on his lips, the sexy curve of them, the way his tongue flicks out to lick the corners. I can't. He's still injured, and if I start something up now, I'm not going to be able to stop. You clear your throat and back away. Okay, I'll, put the bandages on. What a tease. Sorry, nurse's orders. Now give me your hands. Finish bandaging his hands and then pronounce him done. We should go check on Alexander now. I guess if we absolutely have no other option. He smiles and runs the back of his fingers down your cheek. Thank you, Lila. You can thank me by healing. Take care of Alexander. Alexander, I need to clean up that ankle and get the salve on those burns right away. Wouldn't also just giving him some blood work? I think that might help, yes. Skylar, will you be okay on your own for a few minutes while I get him fixed up? I'll be fine. Do what you gotta do. You help Alexander to his feet and gently sling his arm around your shoulders. Can you make it to... I'm gonna be fair with this one. The pool. I don't want you walking too much on that leg and the pool's closed. With your assistance, I believe I can manage it. Okay, lean on me. Together you hobble slowly to the pool, where you help him lie on a chase, and then you realize this was the chase we were on the other night. Your cheeks burn at the memory of the steamy encounter and the way you submitted to his every command. You catch him watching you, and you know he's remembering it too. You take a deep, calming breath and look away. Get it together. This isn't the time or place for that. Where do you keep the first aid kit? You literally just had the salve. There is a small bathroom just through there. You'll find everything you need. You grab some towels and a jar of ointment, and when you return, you stand back to assess his injuries. I don't know which is worse, the sunburns on his arms or the silver burns on his ankle. I'm gonna start with the sunburns. I have to clean them first, so that may sting a bit. I'm not worried. I know you'll be gentle. Unless you don't want me to be. Yes, no. Open the sunroof. Listen, even I take pain with sarcasm. I believe rough is my method, Lila. Perhaps you remember. Your cheeks burn again, remembering how deliciously rough he can be. How could I forget? Here goes nothing. As softly as you can, you dab the wet cloth around the edges of the burns, beginning in his hands and slowly working your way up. He grunts in pain. Do you need me to stop? No, I'm well. This must be done. Please continue. This hurts more than he's letting on. Maybe if I can get him to talking, I can distract him from the pain. Alexander, I just realized I don't really know much about you. What? Ah! What would you like to know? Tell me, how a sexy, sophisticated vampire ended up in Hidden Grove. Sexy and sophisticated, huh? You run your gaze over his broad chest, the lean muscles of his arms, and then give him a coy smile. Just calling it like I see it. He chuckles and winces as you take another dab at his wound. Sorry. No matter. A sexy, sophisticated vampire such as myself does not feel pain. Right. Somehow I doubt that. Now answer the question. Well, I admit Hidden Grove does seem an odd place to settle, but after centuries of travel, my sire decided this town, with its large community of supernaturals, would be an ideal place to live out our lives. I thought you met your sire here in Hidden Grove. No, we met in Paris in 1730, I believe. 1730? You're over 300 years old. You must have seen so much history, and had many lovers. Many, many lovers, but none so entrancing as you. As he tells you about his life, you can feel him begin to relax. So, when the conversation lulls, you think of a way to keep him talking. Well, I can't say I've seen as much of the world as you have, but I've done my fair share of adventuring. I would like to hear of it. Well, let's see. I've driven across the country twice. I've hiked the Grand Canyon, climbed the Rocky Mountains. Once I spent a week lobster fishing in Maine. And now I'm in a small town full of fae, werewolves, and vampires. I'd say, that's pretty an interesting life for a human. He sighs wistfully and looks away. It's been so long since I've lived as a human, I've forgotten how exciting it can be. A part of me misses it, the sun, the lure of lively society. It sounds like you need someone to spice up your life. And are you offering yourself as that someone? Well, I can be pretty spicy. Yeah, you want to hear about our lingerie drawer? Yes, I remember. His gaze draws your attention to the chase, subtly reminding you of your bodies intertwined, moving against each other skin to skin. You feel a throb in your core. Behave, Alexander. I am behaved. It is you who is tempting me. Can you blame me? You finish dabbing the salve on his sunburned arms and turn to take a look at his leg. Okay, I'm gonna tackle the silver burns now. I'll try to be gentle. I trust you will be. This might hurt. Oh, deja vu! You spread the salve onto his skin with soft strokes and gentle touches, but instead of wincing, he lets out a deep, sexy purr. I don't think he even knows he's doing that, or what it's doing to me. He's seriously injured, though, and rigorously physical activity is kind of out of the question, but I can still give him a sensual massage, soothe him with words. How sensual are we talking? You circle your fingers up his arms, increasing the pressure as you reach his shoulders. You plant a soft kiss to his neck, his muscles tense. His eyes find yours, dark with lust. God, I want him, but his injuries are too severe. Alexander, we can't. What if I commanded it? His gaze is sharp as steel, and for a moment you think about giving in, and then you sigh. I'd still say no. You're hurt, and if we go any further, it'll do more harm than good. You brush the back of your fingers across his cheek, heart aching as you see the disappointment in his eyes. He takes your hand and presses his lips to your palm. Thank you, Lila. You can thank me by getting all the way better. Now, come on, we have to check in on Skylar. So, how did it go with the leg, though? We didn't put a bandage on. We didn't do anything. Remember, he had a bear trap around his ankle. We put some salve on it, right? Even though we somehow ended up at his neck and shoulders. I'm confused. The AI is just bad at writing, I'm thinking. Skylar, do you think you're okay to make it back home? Yeah. I gotta go check in on the pack anyway. I've been gone too long. Good. Alexander, are you comfortable enough on the settee? With this leg, you shouldn't be walking around. I am perfectly comfortable. I'll be resting here for a while, and by nightfall I should be well enough to walk. Then I'm going back to the B&B. I'm exhausted, and frankly, I've earned some peace and quiet. So we're all gonna split up. Back at the B&B, you go straight to your room and stretch out on the bed. As your head makes contact with the pillow, you let out a huge sigh, physically and mentally exhausted, but to your frustration, all you do is toss and turn. I need to stop thinking about the entity. The more I think about her, the more power I give to her. If I can shut her out of my thoughts, maybe she'll go away. Yeah, fat chance. You turn on your stomach and press your face into the pillow, trying to will yourself to relax, but whatever you do, sleep just won't come. God, I've been there a million times. This isn't working. I should just go talk to Peter. At least I'll feel like I'm doing something instead of letting my fears run wild in my head. Downstairs, you find him busily typing away at his computer behind the front desk. Oh, hey there, Sleeping Beauty. Get the rest and relaxation you needed? Short answer, no. Peter, have you found anything else about the entity? As you said, short answer, no. What about your friends? Maybe there's some kind of magical Call of Fae hotline you could contact? Oh, there it is. We call it the telephone. Even though your exhaustion and worry, you can't help but laugh. Talking to you always cheers me up. It's a Greenwood B&B special service. He gives your hand a consoling pat. Trust me, Lila, I've called every fae I know. We all agree it's a demon, but it's not much help. You need more specific information, which is why I'm sending you to the Hidden Grove Library. Is the Talon Library really the place to do comprehensive research on demons? I know there are a lot of supernaturals here, but wouldn't a whole section on demonology tip off that out-of-the-loop humans? If it was the regular parts of the library, yes, but there is a supernatural library in the basement, and lucky you, I know the librarian. They open at sundown. I'll tell Sally you're coming. Peter, you're a gem. I know. Feeling more confident now that you've got a concrete plan, you head over to the library just as a twilight is purpling the sky. But you're focused on the night of research ahead of you. You don't notice the darkness swirling in your path.
Hello, Lila. Lovely night for a walk.
Startled, you jerk to a halt and stare at the woman with an icy cold smile, hovering in front of you. The entity. No, I thought it was Poison Ivy. The first time she's truly revealed herself since you arrived in Hidden Grove, and you pause a breathless minute to take her in. My weakness! She looks like I remember her. Cold, dark, beautiful, and deadly. See, even Shisa knows it. Why did you leave my mother's keychain for me to find?
Excellent question. None of that. Why are you doing this? Why can't you leave me alone? Like your mother and grandmother. They were so boring. I hate boring.
Her voice is chillingly familiar, like an echo of a half-remembered nightmare, but you push the fear aside, and you answer with bravado you don't really feel. Glad I can be so entertaining. Now answer the damn question.
Well, since you asked so politely, I'm here to remind you of what you owe me. What your entire line owes me.
My line? What the hell does that mean? Your bloodline, dummy.
You know, Lila, deep down, you know.
The shadows shift and swirl again, and before you can back away, the tendrils curl around your wrist, coalescing into the form of a hand. Her hand. Ugh. Her skin is like the touch of a burning coal. She leans close to whisper in your ear.
You know what to do, Lila. Give me what I want, or next time I won't be so kind to your beloved wolf and vampire.
Do what? What do I have to do? But she's gone, leaving you alone in the dark, your heart pounding, the fiery mark of her fingers pulsing painfully on your arm. What the hell just happened? Thoroughly rattled and more than a little paranoid, you run the rest of the way to the library. Inside, you find your way to the lower level, where Sally, the librarian, is waiting for you, flipping through the pages of a book with just a wave of her hands. Right. Of course, witches are real here, too.
You're Lila, right? Peter told me you'd be coming. I've pulled some books and periodicals for you to start on. Oh, and your friends are here.
My friends? You mean Alexander and Skylar?
Yes, they are very delicious. Now follow me. I've got an area in the back where you won't be disturbed.
Sally lifts her hands and a door materializes where they had previously been a bookshelf, blinking in disbelief. You follow her inside. In the long room filled with files, binders, books, Sally leads you to a quiet corner where you find Skylar and Alexander. The chair next to Alexander is draped with heavy overcoat, scarf, and hat. You raise your eyebrow at the unseasonable choices. To hide my burns in case any unknowing human sees me. These injuries would cause too many questions. How did you know I'd come here? I don't know about him, but I felt where you were headed. Fated mate, link, and all. He shoots Alexander a smug grin, which Alexander pointedly ignores. Peter contacted me. He thought you could use my library skills and knowledge of books. Big fan of Dewey Decimal System, are we? Can we not do this right now? I just ran into the entity and I'm still a little shaky. Their eyes fly wide in alarm, their personal beef forgotten as they process the information. Are you okay? What happened? I'm fine, nothing happened, but she did tell me what she wants. She said that I owe her something, that my line owes her something. Do you have any idea what that means? They exchange a look, both are confused as you are. Not a clue. I am at a loss as well, but perhaps we'll find some answers in these books. I've taken the liberty of organizing them into textbooks in the Daily Interpreter archives. The archives span the last 60 years, beginning with the time of your grandmother's arrival in town, and Sally had given us everything she could find on demons and paranormal entities. Peter said he was sure it was a demon, so can you concentrate on that, Alexander? I'll go through the newspapers. Skylar, can you help Alexander with the textbooks? I'd rather work with you. And I'd rather you and Alexander learn to get along. Reading books doesn't seem like something that can cause a fight. Have you met them? Don't put money on that. Come on, it's gonna be a long night. Let's get started. You settle in front of an intimidating stack of archival binders and pull the ears. Your grandmother was in Hidden Grove. Daily Interpreter, unusual occurrences increase in Hidden Grove. There's gotta be something about her in these papers. You skim through the old newspapers, your eyes flitting across the yellowing pages, and it doesn't take long for you to find your grandmother's name. Here, look. There's an article about her buying the cabin. It says it used to belong to a coal miner named Horace Jenkins. And look at this article on the next page. It's a report about the woman meeting some kind of dark shadow creature. When interviewed in the hospital, Miss Carter claims that the shadow accosted her in the woods off Route 10, causing her to fall into a ravine. Apparently, she almost died. Route 10 runs right by your grandmother's cabin. It had to have been the entity. Lila, I believe I found something pertinent as well. You slide in the seat beside Alexander as Skylar takes a chair on the other side. Glowing leather tome. Looks ominous. This book was written by a demonology expert, and there's a mention here of insidious creature that attaches itself to specific bloodlines. Well, that sounds like a my demon, especially the bloodline thing. Is there anything more about it? Where it comes from? How it attaches itself? Unfortunately, he gives no more specifics about this particular creature. What about other kinds of demons? Maybe they'll be a match? At the very least, if we learn how to get rid of them, it'll help us figure out how to ditch this one. That's rather good thinking. I have my moments. Alexander fans through the pages and lets the book fall open. Here. These are descriptions of the most common demons. It could provide us with the clues we need. Read the demonology book. I have to learn all I can. The two of you look like you're about to drop. Why don't you both go home? I can handle simple research and I'll update you if I find anything. Alexander and Skylar share a surprisingly unantagonistic look. Then they turn to you and speak at once. No. Not happening. But... No buts. We're the literal injured parties here, so we get to make the call. We're staying. Agreed. Your heart gives a little thump at how obviously they care for you, and you take a quick moment to fight back tears. I thank you. Here, you should have the honor of reading. Alexander slides the book in front of you, and you turn to the first chapter and begin to read. Okay, according to this, the 3 most common demonic entities are revenants, fiends, and shades. Any preference on where we start? Your demon, your cull. Okay, then. I'm gonna go with Revenant. If you played Phasmo, you know why. Or at least watch me, we'll play it. You turn to the page on Revenants. Revenants are restless spirits or undead creatures driven by vengeance or hatred. These demons often arise from tragic or violent deaths and are souls who are seeking retribution against those who wronged them in life. Revenants are frequently associated with family curses and hauntings. Look at that. A curse thing might fit, but I don't know that I'd call it a haunting. More like a stalking. It's the same damn thing. Could it be seeking revenge on your family? I don't think so. She said my mother owed it something. That doesn't sound like a revenge to me. Let's try the next one. Fine, we'll go with Shades. Or Fiends. Shades last. You turn the page to the entry labeled Fiends. Fiends. Stories of fiends are present in nearly every world mythology, and they are frequently central figures in tales of temptation, betrayal, and moral decay. They possess significant power, cunning, and employ their wickedness to torment and manipulate mortals. They thrive on chaos, causing harm to humans and, in some cases, other supernatural creatures. Cunning and thriving on chaos sounds like our girl. But she's not tempting me, and I know I haven't betrayed anyone, and moral decay, what does that even mean? Okay, let's keep reading. Shades. You flip forward and find the entry on Shades. Shades dwell in the darkness, lurking in the shadows, feeding on terror and despair. They have the ability to take on different forms, including friends, family members, or even animals and inanimate objects. It is believed that these shadow creatures bring nightmares and phobias, and represent the fears that haunt the human mind. Well, she's certainly a nightmare. She really does seem to feed on my terror and despair. Has she ever taken another form? Nope, just one form. The one very beautiful, very deadly form. Sounds like a bust. Let's move on. Lila, perhaps this is what we're looking for. Alexander points you to another entry and you squint to read the strange word. Succubi? That's a new one. That actually is a new one. Succubi are associated with sexual desire. They prey on mortals, often appearing in their dreams or under the guise of attractive humans to seduce their victims as they feed off their youth and life force. That seems to feed off my luck, though. Not my life force. I mean, I've never felt weakened by it, just unlucky. But luck is an energy as well, and clearly she has been draining yours, causing misfortune wherever you go. You glance at Skylar and Alexander's wounded bodies. To whomever's around me, But I want to know how it got attached to me in the first place, because if it was just some random accident, I'm gonna be pissed. It says these demons are rarely encountered by chance. In most cases, the reason a demon has attached itself to a human is because... He stops reading abruptly and clears his throat. Tell me. Because the human has summoned it themselves. Once the human has accepted the deal, the entity follows them until they fulfill the bargain. And so it's your bloodline. Whoa. Are you saying someone in my family summoned this thing? Well, that thing did say your bloodline known it something. Which indicates to me that previous relative of yours summoned the demon and then didn't carry out the bargain, thus burdening their descendants with the debt. But my mother and grandmother would never do that. Perhaps a father? It was probably someone else you're related to. Great-grandfather, great-grandmother, something like that. Why would someone do that to their children and grandchildren? You scrub your hands across your face in frustration. Have you met most of the people in this world? Perhaps we should focus on how to get rid of it. That's a good idea. What does it say? Again, he skims through the book. Here, it says it's possible to gain command over a demon by learning its name, but if the being is particularly powerful, you need to master a magic wielder to banish it back to the shadow realm. Where do we get a master magic wielder? Pretty sure you can't just order one off the internet. What? I've seen him on Temu. Bah ha ha. What about Peter? Peter is quite powerful, but I believe this would be beyond even his abilities. You slump down in the seat, despair seeping into your bones, followed by anger. She ran into her first road bump, right? She's like, oh no. I'd have to deal with this thing my whole life. You think my mother and grandmother would have told me something, anything about it? Maybe they didn't know either. Perhaps they were trying to protect you. Well, they did a terrible job. Don't be so hard on them. It's not like they had anyone to help them. But you do. Don't worry, Lila. I promise we'll get to the bottom of this. You sigh, not quite sure how you feel about everything you've just learned. I guess some knowledge is better than nothing at all. We may not have gotten all the answers we were looking for, but I certainly know more about the demons than I ever thought possible. I truly believe that in the end it will prove more useful than it appears at the moment. Look at it this way. With all this demon lore you've got now, you're gonna be a hit at the next party. Even Alexander joins in on the laugh, and you wipe the tears of mirth from your eyes and close the book. I think we found everything we are going to find tonight. We should go. You two need to rest, and so do I. As you descend the steps of the library, you notice Alexander limping and leaning heavily on his uninjured leg. Alexander, here, take my arm. I'm fine, Lila. It's my job to take care of you, not the other way around. Ah, there's that stubborn charm you must find so attractive, Lila. Skylar reaches for you and then flinches away as his burned fingers brush her arm. Again, you feel a pang of guilt. This could have been so much worse. What she did last night was nothing compared to what she's capable of. She's just taunting us now. I don't want to even think about what'll happen if she actually tries to kill them. You remember the entity's words as she left you earlier.
Give me what I want, or next I won't be so kind to your beloved wolf and vampire.
That was a threat. She knows I care about them, and she's using my emotions to manipulate me. Pain washes over you as you realize what you have to do to keep Alexander and Skylar safe. From now on, I have to keep my distance. Yeah. Whatever. Anyway, without further ado, thanks for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Head down the description. Plenty of things to check out, ways to support, and whatnot. Without further ado, what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments down below. Let's put it this way. I'm a huge paranormal buff. I love the shit. Especially because one of the main reasons I love it is because all the things that I have personally witnessed / experienced. And so, I don't believe I mentioned this in prior videos to this, but as it was leading up to this, and it's more like, hey, there's a thing that follows you around and drains your energy. Yeah, no. I feel like that. And again, I've had a lot of paranormal things in my life and whatnot. And my life, like I said, if I ever was to sit down and tell you all the story of my life, which would be TLDR, it really would be super long, and I try and keep it as short as possible, but people that I've told a little bit to here and there is people who have literally, before this book even became a thing, and again, these are people in the community that are viewers just like you, have literally said, there has got to be something latched on you, or doing something to you, or something somewhere, whatnot, because the amount of things that I've run into, here I was talking just, yesterday I was I'm gonna stream, and I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and I make plans, right, and I'm all giddy and happy, and like, yeah, let's go, let's, live life to the fullest, and no, and then this morning I was gonna do it again, and I made those plans, I'm like, all right, time to make it up to you, and no, just no, yes, I got some, videos done and whatnot, but, it took a lot longer than I would have liked, so yeah, it's just, I've ran into so many things in my life that there's a possibility of something latched on, and they don't always make themselves known to you. And it's not like this entity, though. It's not like it likes bringing harm onto others. It's something that merely drains me literally and figuratively in every single way possible. Oh, you got some good luck? Haha, no you don't. You have bad luck, and it's the only damn type of luck you have. And I definitely feel that. I definitely feel that. So I kind of like this book because of that. I was a huge Supernatural fan too. The show, not just, Supernatural stuff. And there were things even in that show that were kind of like the same. And I wish I could shake this. I wish there was like a witch doctor or someone, anyone that would get, this stuff off of me, maybe give me a chance, or maybe even tell me if there is or is not something around me. I don't know. I honestly really don't know. But that's honestly how I felt. So, whether you believe in it or not, I respect each and every one of yours beliefs, and it's like each person that believes in a big man in a book, that there's many religions and whatnot for that. That's your entitlement and your prerogative and your faith and whatnot, right? No one has a right to look down on you and say you're wrong or whatnot. Nobody. Everybody has their own thing, and everybody should be left alone as long as you aren't shoving it down other people's throats. And that's how I look at it. Otherwise, thanks again for watching. Catch you all later. Peace out.